Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Before we start, I'm not one of those people that does traditional land acknowledgements, but I do, as recommended by a friend of mine, want to acknowledge the land that we're on and the land that we share with all sentient beings, flora and fauna, and all other human beings alike. Having said that, this land is the traditional territory, meeting ground, and gathering place, traveling route, and home for the Deneza, Nishawak, Assiniwache, Winawak, Nahiawak, Anishinaabe, Sequamish, Stony Dakota, Mountain Métis, and Métis. I'd like to call the regular meeting of council, September 2nd, 2025 to order. Are there any additions, deletions, or amendments to the agenda to be made today by any councillors? Great, may I have a motion to approve today's agenda as presented? Councillor Malik. All in favor? That's carried. Approval of the minutes. We have the regular meeting minutes of August 19th, 2025. Are there any amendments, additions, deletions? All right, having said that, may I have a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes of August 19th, 2025? Great, Councillor Hall, all in favor? That's carried. Okay, that brings us to 3.2, Committee of the Whole meeting minutes of August 26th, 2025. Any adjustments to be made there? All right, may I have a motion? All right, to approve. And that comes from Councillor Waxer. All in favor? That's carried. All right, we don't have any delegations assigned for today's meeting, but that does give us an opportunity to look at the gallery if there are any people present who would like to speak to any of the items on today's agenda. I don't see any hands or anyone coming forward, so I assume there are none at this point. So I would like to move the agenda along to agenda item 5, correspondence. And we do have a proclamation request. Does anybody want to speak to that at all? All right. Do we have a motion forward to proclaim? Okay, Councillor Waxer proclaims that the council proclaim September 15th to the 21st, 2025 as Rail Safety Week. All in favor? That's here. Normally we just proclaim and sign it. There's a signature to be done afterwards. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have a letter from the Association Canadienne Française d'Alberta, also known as ACFA. Do I have a motion from council, or does anyone want to speak to the letter? Councillor Waxer.
Yes, I was wondering, I want to through you, Deputy Mayor Demoda, to CAO Given. Would administration be preparing letters to support this programming period? Or would that a letter of that nature come from council?
Yeah. Thanks, Deputy Mayor Demoda, for Councillor Waxer. So I think if council is of the mind that you wish to express the municipality support, a simple resolution that the municipality provide a letter of support council sort of adopting that motion or passing that motion, administration could draft a letter and pass it to you, the mayor or deputy mayor for signature.
Need some direction. All right. And we're all struggling today, eh?
It worked with us earlier.
Here we're just. Yeah, I need some direction from council to either move this or defer. Go ahead, Councilor Waxer.
I just wanted to speak to the value and importance of ACFA or CFA. I think that they provide a valuable service to the community and it's important for the sense of inclusion for Francophone residents in our community. It's a long-standing service, and I would very wholeheartedly support writing a letter of support to their application to the federal government for funding. And so I would make the motion that council direct administration to draft a supporting letter to ACFA to be attached to their funding application.
Seems like this thing's gonna cack on me every, sorry, not even using the. Hopefully this thing doesn't die on me every time. Just to lean on administration, should we receive a letter first and then make a friendly amendment to direct administration to draft a letter of support? Oh, it's okay. Maybe we need one of those floating mics and I just walk around and hand it to everybody. For those watching online, please bear with us, thank you.
There we go. Sorry about that. Deputy Mayor as well. So I think the motion is fine. Council could make a motion to receive for information and to do the action Councilor Waxer mentioned. Also, though, taking action means that you have received the letter, and so it's, I think, maybe just extra words of motion that the action is captured in the fact that council received the correspondence and chose to take an action. All right.
Okay, fair enough, as long as we have it recorded and council understands the motion. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Thank you. Didn't give you a chance to debate it. All right, so that brings us to agenda item 5.3. We have a
motion that we move this meeting microphones.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks, Director Neto, for that. Really appreciate it. I'm going to step aside and I'm going to draft a motion to propose a new audio system for the 2026 budget. All right, thank you for that. I stole that from Councilor Hall. She came up with the idea. All right. We have a letter from the Astoria Hotel We have a recommendation that council receive the letter from the Astoria Hotel for information. Do any councillors want to speak to it? Okay.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Demoda. I'm questioning to administration without a lot of detail, wondering if we're able to actually refer this back to administration for a recommendation or more information on this.
Deputy Mayor Demoda for Councillor Hall. Absolutely appreciating this is the first time council's seen this request. You might like to request administration come back with a report that would outline what measures are in place and what process is available to the municipality. There are a couple of changes that happened for the 2024 taxes and related to signing for pre-authorized payment, a couple of other items. If council feels like they would benefit from us putting that in writing for you so you can see it in order to understand what alternatives are in front of you and what's available to you, we'd be happy to do so. It also would probably be good practice that way you can, administration can have at least a few days to make sure that what we're providing to you is comprehensive and correct, rather than attempting to do it off the cuff when council's just receiving the requests. But essentially, the request has been put forward in public. Council could choose to act on the request today and provide a waiver. Council could choose to refer the request to administration for a report back, which is what I would suggest. That way you can see all the details. Or council could choose to deny the request or receive for information. So there's really, I think, that range of possibilities. We received a request and we're going to approve it or approve something different here today. We've received that request and we're going to get more details so we can clearly understand the situation and we'll come back. We've received the request and we're going to choose not to act on the request. So that's the sort of range available to you.
All right, so having said that, if someone's drafting a motion, either way, because at this point that there are no financial consequences, whatever comes from this, and it does come back from administration, I do need to declare a conflict of interest as I am involved with that company. So, Dr. Hall.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Unless there is any further conversation from the council table, I'm prepared to make a motion that council receive the letter from the Astoria Hotel for information and direct administration to come back with a report for council's consideration at the next committee of the whole meeting. Is that enough time? Okay, so my motion set that motion.
Well drafted. Does anybody have anything to debate on that, discuss or comment on, ask for more information? No? Okay. I'll call the motion. All in favor? Okay, not opposed, that's carried. Thank you very much for that. We're moving on to new business. Agenda item 6. We have 6.1 Jasper Recovery Coordination Center progress update. Who would like to address that? Mr. Ireland? Okay. Logan Ireland.
Good afternoon, Council. Logan Ireland here on behalf of the Jasper Recovery Coordination Center. For updates this week in the realm of interim housing, we presently have 282 households with roofs over them, which comprises 538 individual residents. We are starting to see a shift into a new season where summer staff will be relocating. And so we may see a decline, and then we'll aim to backfill those open properties with people that are still awaiting housing in our town. Along with seasonal staff, we are very excited and grateful to see some of our community members aiming to move back into reestablished housing. With new interim housing, on the museum property, we have 6 of our 8 units landed and expect the last 2 to arrive by middle of September. Then we'll be working to complete the concrete and paving and permitting to allow occupancy near the end of the month. And meanwhile, at Patricia Circle, the civil works continue to prepare to support the arrival of interim housing units there, of which there will be a total of 6. We are still awaiting delivery schedules from the supplier, and we anticipate that it'll be somewhere throughout September to the middle of October, aiming for Thanksgiving to late October occupancy at that site, if all things line up. We are also expecting, we're preparing land at the existing interim housing sites at parcel GA and HH to accept additional trailers and make full use of that land that we have available to us. And we expect occupancy, if all things go ahead, at new trailers in that area within this month as well. On the debris removal side of things, 99% of physical debris is removed, representing 257 COCs or certificate of completions. Soil testing continues at some properties, and Parks Canada is aiming to support residents as expediently as possible to move forward in that respect. Many of the fire affected properties have not yet applied for rebuild permits. So the stats show that 92 development permits out of 117 applications have been approved. And then of the larger number, 257 COCs exist. So there is a large portion of Jasper residents who are navigating other complexities such as insurance and selecting the appropriate builder for their property. With construction coordination, street and public use space permits are available for road and sidewalk closures around construction sites. Storage of materials on neighboring properties and clean fill to marmot hit are the compliance topics of the week. So we are aware that the storage of clean fill is a current issue and looks to continue to be an issue as we or a challenge that we have to resolve collectively as we move forward. And options are being explored to support the Jasper building community and through them, the residents of Jasper. With respect to social recovery, the Healing Through Fire and community spiritual circles continue this month and next. There were some just last week, August 28th and 29th. The best place for residents to go to find out about upcoming events is through the community calendar on the Municipality of Jasper website. With economic recovery, under that umbrella is the Commerce Continuity Initiative and the Business Pop-Up Village in the Interim Industrial Park. Share a few updates on both of those. The Business Pop-Up Village is operating on power. We've moved off generator power and hooked up to the main line. With the Interim Industrial Park, our interim industrial washroom facility shipped today, and our operations department had prepared the land for it to be received. We'll be working to build a landing and some stairs to meet building code and expect to have that washroom online for the existing tenants, the vet clinic, within a few weeks. And then that washroom will support the rest of the interim industrial park as it builds up around it. With the supplier, the municipality owned assets, the sea cans that were purchased through the Prairies Can Grant, the first run of storage units is due to be complete by tomorrow, September 3rd. And then we anticipate delivery of units to be 1 week after. So we will be communicating with all the tenants this week to let them know of the impending arrival. The storage units will be first, and then continuing on through September and into October is when the electrified workshop units will be arriving. The laydown yard in the S block is operational and is currently at about 80% full. We have demand. It will soon be at 100%. And we are working to support the remaining laydown and storage needs at another location in town. Work proceeds to make the woodlot usable, and there are alternate locations also being discussed to support both laydown and soil storage. Finally, today, on September 2nd, Parks Canada began removing the blue fencing around town at properties at which it was safe to do so. So where no physical debris or physical hazards persist, we can expect to see that blue fencing removed. Where physical hazards or debris do still exist, the fencing will continue to be in place until around the middle of November. And residents at those impacted lots have been contacted and informed that when that time comes, if the physical hazards or debris still exist, it will be their responsibility to find a solution, such as renting their own fencing or taking over the existing fencing contract. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Ireland. Do many councillors have any questions on presentation today? The information. Councillor Malik.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demota, and thank you, Mr. Ireland, for the reporting and concise report. I do have a number of questions, and first one I'd like to refer to is a pop-up village. I take it the pop-up village will be operating through the winter as well, or and what other plans are there for additional services in the pop-up village, i.e. perhaps a climbing wall returning? Is that part of the planning?
Thanks for the question, Councillor Melnick. That answer was left up to the tenants, so the space is available to them if they wish to proceed through winter. Many initially indicated that their operations were expected to be seasonal, and I believe some are revisiting that as they approach the reality of the summer season concluding and reevaluate if it would be worthwhile for them to remain open. Some, which you mentioned, I do believe intend to remain open. The ice wall is slightly outside of my purview, but I believe the proponents there do wish to proceed with that, and we may very well see that this winter.
Thank you, appreciate that. And so if a number of businesses won't be using their sea cans and won't be using the area, there's no intent to remove them and replace them next year. They'll remain there for the winter, and potentially maybe other individuals could pick up on a summer operation and maybe put a winter operation into sea cans for, say, ski rentals or other such items.
The units in the pop-up village, other than the artisan sea can, are owned by the tenants themselves. So I believe that they will be offered the option to leave them there over the winter, even if they're not operating. So if they wish to leave them in place, because it makes more sense to not have to demobilize and mobilize again when the thaw comes, they'll have that option. As for exploring alternate businesses there, my understanding is that whatever would be done there would have to be in line with their existing business, as the eligibility criteria was that you had to be operating a business at the time of the fire, and it was not that program in particular was not intended to support the creation of a new business. So business owners may have to navigate that properly within the scope of what's been approved.
Thank you. I think you gave me more clarity than I anticipated, but thank you for that. Interim housing, if I might continue. We're going to be going through a number of changes. We're adding a number of additional housing units. People will be moving around as administered by the Red Cross. We're moving into the winter season, and there'll be a number of staff that will be here to support our winter operations. I imagine they can apply as normal with other individuals to see if they're able or eligible to be part of the interim housing. I really I'm glad that we're having so much housing coming in. My question is about ensuring that it's running at 99% occupancy through the entire winter. And be able to support the employees that will help us run the community and potentially workers who are gonna help rebuild the community.
Yeah, thanks for that, Councillor Melnick. To your first point, certainly, new Jasperites entering our community for the winter season or perhaps re-entering for another winter season. If they are in need of housing, they are definitely encouraged and welcome to apply to the interim housing application portal. And then they'll be treated in the priority matrix appropriately by the housing team. And I can say that we're certainly aligned on the goal to have 99, 100% occupancy as well. We recognize that there is still more demand for housing than there is housing. And so the housing allocation team is constantly at work to try to find rooms for people and the most appropriate rooms as well, shuffling families into spaces that are more appropriate as we continue down this path to more housing.
Thank you for that, Deputy Mayor Demoto. I'll defer back to you. It may have another question, but other councillors may also have questions.
All right, then I will put that out on the floor. Do any other councillors have comments or questions on the report? Go ahead, Councillor Malik.
I guess my last question would be about the comment about winter camping and availability for contractors. There is an availability for contractors to work with Parks Canada for winter camping. Can you maybe expand a little bit how aggressively are people approaching that as an option for workers in the winter camping area, or is that out of your purview?
Yeah, I am not able to expand too much on what's presented in the update so far, other than to say that Parks is actively exploring options and liaising with the building community to understand the demand for winter camping. And we expect that within a week or two, that option will be finalized and will be presented and available to the building community.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ireland. I appreciate the information that you've provided for us today, and very delighted on the progress that we're making. I know that many community members wish we were further along, but it's very warm in my heart when I still see houses being brought into the community, and that just means it's given an opportunity to put more roofs over heads. That's Captain Obvious speaking, but it's still warming when that's happening right now. So months will start getting colder, and the opportunity for people to have better housing is good for the community as a whole. So, Councillor Hall.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Toda. Just a comment, I think it's really cool. There'll be a youth pathfinders program. Sorry about that. That sounds great. Wondering if you have any updates or how the regional transit is going between Hinton and Jasper and out to the Meadows, if it's been a good, well received, people on the bus.
Thanks, and agreed about the youth pathfinders. I will have to seek an update on transit, as I don't have purview into that at present. I'll look into that and be sure to get back to you.
Great, thank you very much. If there's nothing else to be said or asked of, I appreciate you coming forward, and I appreciate the update. You have a motion from council to, as efficient as the mayor usually does, to accept the Recovery Coordination Center progress update for information. Councillor Wilson, all in favor? And for those of you that want to go and look this up after, there's an alternative place to go and look at this, and that's at jasper-alberta.ca. There's lots of information there. This sounds like an infomercial plug, but at the same time, there's a lot of information on the wildfire recovery, and you can click that at the very top of the homepage there. The past updates for what Mr. Island just presented are also available. Okay, so that brings us to 6.2, Utilities Master Plan. We're moving along pretty quickly here. I was thinking about taking a break at this point in the meeting, but we seem to be moving along pretty efficiently. So with a nod from council, we can move forward. Do this one? Okay. All right, so 6.2, we have a recommendation forward. Bring that to Director, okay. Director Donaldson.
Good afternoon, Council. As was discussed briefly last week at committee, the recommendation is for committee recommend council to adopt utilities master plan as it is presented. So what we have here and what has now been made available to the public is our utilities master plan in its final completed version. And we are open to feedback. Again, this ties in, goes hand in hand with the offsite levies, to which Mr. Pollock will speak to following this. So I hope everyone has had a chance to read this document. I know it's quite large in its entity. I also have our utilities manager here, Mr. Michaud, who can answer more technical questions in detail there too regarding the utilities master plan.
All right, thank you very much. This is CAO Given. Go ahead.
Thanks very much, Deputy Mayor Demota. Just to jump in terms of the committee recommendation to council, you'll see that the recommendation from committee was that council consider master plan as presented, recognizing that the committee had the benefit of the presentation from the consultants that covered the methodology and the conclusions. But we had a difficulty with some of the technology and being able to get the large file size on the public agenda and in front of council. And so we did that late last week or middle of last week. So council now has the benefit of presentation from the engineers that covered the how and the why. And the now the, I know, nearly couple 100-page technical document that provides all of the details, and the public has been able to see that. So the committee didn't have the benefit of seeing that document firsthand last week. The committee did still feel it was worthwhile moving forward to council. So council, that they weren't in a position to say that council approved because committee didn't have the document in front of them. As Director Donaldson said, the administration's here, happy to answer any questions, recognizing that this work builds on 2 previous studies related to the municipality's water system and is intended to be a technical guiding document for administration that helps us plan the municipality's capital expenditures over the next 20 years. While it has been closely tied to the offsite levies update and the offsite levies bylaw, council will remember also at committee last week, we recognized the challenge with getting close to the end of the term, and administration advised that it wouldn't be appropriate to bring forward any changes to the offsite levies bylaw at this time. That'll have to wait until the next term after the new council has been elected and is in place. And so I just want to maybe divorce those 2 issues a little bit here, because I think they had been connected previously. The utilities master plan is an input to the offsite levies bylaw. That's true. And the offsite levies bylaw is not going to be in front of council this term. The technical information that's contained in the utilities master plan is important to administration to help us build our 2026 and going forward capital plans.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate that. don't like the term divorce, especially right now, but it's neither here nor there. Add some levity too. Does anybody have any comments or, anything they discovered during the review? Any comments to make? Council Wilson.
Just a quick confirmation that, so, this is a guiding document, technical document that will, assist the administration in their capital expenditures, but all of that, any spending will still come to council, every budget cycle. It is just kind of a long-term vision of what needs to be done and how we get there.
Deputy Mayor Devoda for Council Wilson, that's exactly right. I think we did discuss that at the committee meeting, that so again, this lays out roadmap. Approval about how far along that path, how quickly or if, still remains subject to council's regular budget discussions and decision making.
Anyone else? Well, I think we've worked on this over a few terms now, and I'm really respecting and like the evolution of how we're taking on this, having been given once we became incorporated old infrastructure and slowly growing into maintaining it and replacing it over time. And with the town expanding as far as visitation goes and different services, I think it's really important to keep developing ideas like this and bringing forward strategies. And I think that helps us with our 3C model going forward, and having some solid structure and vision. So congratulations to the work that's gone behind this and the people and the effort and definitely the foresight. So it's definitely needed in our town. And I think that gives more stability to our stakeholders, our local stakeholders, in understanding what that whole process is about and where the money's going and why. So, all right. Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Devoda. And I do want to speak to your reference to the 3C plan or the capital consumption and how we collect our utilities. And I think it's important to remember that that was established 3 years ago for us to be able to have a reserve to be able to maintain our one of our major assets being the wastewater and water treatment plant. And the conversation about what the 25-year projection of what needs to be done, I think is appropriate, that the community understands that this is a plant that needs constant care and maintenance. It's 20 years old or more than 20 years old now, and we need to continue to maintain it for the 20 to 25,000 people who are here every day in the summertime. And it's just part of the cost of doing business. We hope to be able to get government grants. However, there is no guarantee with government grants, and the purpose of this report is to clearly lay out for the residents and the businesses that this is the reality of operating our town, and there will be cost consequences as a result of that. The offsite levy conversation, which I believe will happen next, is tied into this, projection of what we need to do to maintain our infrastructure. So I'm happy you brought up the fact that this is an important document for everyone in the community to understand what we need to do. And I am happy to put forth a motion if there are no other councillors who are wishing to comment.
Good. As we're getting to the end of this term, one of my projects was always the bulk water sandy dump station. I was looking forward to a full year of like a full summer operation. Of course, you know, once again, we're limited a little bit to get like full numbers off of that, but hopefully that'll help alleviate some of the costs and operational costs too, and definitely rectify some of the issues that we had in the past, and you know, gathering and getting the proper revenue from that facility. So congratulations for everybody for getting that completed, and as Councillor Melnick said, a good groundwork that we have going forward. And that's just not all on water either. All right, any other comments? All right, we have a motion from council.
If I may,
Go ahead, Councillor Melnick.
I would like to make the motion that council consider the utilities master plan as presented. That would be my motion. It'll be up to a new council for implementation and discussion. But that's a recommendation. I'm happy to make that recommendation.
Anyone want to speak to the motion? Go ahead,
Sir,
Councillor.
could you clarify, could you read the motion again? I just,
Well, I make the motion that council consider the utilities master plan as presented. That's the motion, and to speak to it, it would be incumbent on the new council to implement the portions of the utility master plan into their capital and operating budgets appropriately. We're at the end of the term, but I think we need to move this forward and give the new council the opportunity to use this document to be able to plan for the next 3 to 5 years, 2026, 2027, 2028. And for us to be able to, for the new council to be able to put together budgets that are appropriate for the municipality.
Thank you, Councillor. I just had a point for information clarification. CEO, given if you may, projects like this, particularly this one, did this get the strategic plan get funded out of reserves that we had that were collected on part of that model? I can't remember if it was actually addressed in the budget.
It was addressed in the budget, so this was a capital item, a plan of this, so the municipality typically approaches plans that have a long horizon like this one. Or a large cost as capital documents, because they basically have a long shelf life. So this was approved in council's capital budget. I don't remember the specific sort of sub-funding source that provided the dollars for that off the top of my head. I don't know.
That's fine. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh yes, capital, because I think our operations all the time specifically. Okay. So having said that, anyone else want to speak to the motion? Okay, Councillor Melnick, you want to close?
I think I'm good.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, that's carried. None opposed? Thank you. Is everyone okay still? We can go to the next one. Okay, got it on that from council to move on to 6.3. We've got the offsite levies update. You ready to go, Mr. Pollock? Okay, you're on.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. We are here today to present the Jasper offsite levies update, which was prepared by ISL Engineering in August 2025. The purpose of this report is to provide Council with a technical engineering document that establishes the background calculations, methodology, and project costing required to support future offsite levies bylaw. It is important to be clear, this report does not change the current offsite levy rates in any way. Those rates will remain as they are today, and any changes to the levy rates will occur only when a new bylaw is brought forward before the next council. We just don't simply have enough time to get it through this council before the election. So This update, it's necessary because Jasper's last offsite levy review was completed in 2015. And those rates are no longer, they don't reflect the current capital costs of infrastructure. And under section 648 of the Municipal Government Act, municipalities may collect levies to recover growth-related costs. And Jasper's 2001 local government agreement affirms that developments are expected to pay appropriate levy rates. The report provides the technical foundation to ensure that our next bylaw is both fair and defendable. So the study in front of you today, or the 2025 Utility Master Plan, it identifies, in tandem with the Utility Master Plan, it identifies 7 major water as well as wastewater projects that will be required to serve future growth and estimates their cost using 2024 construction dollars, including contingency for engineering. ISL has also benchmarked Jasper's proposed rates against other municipalities just for context within the report. It is also important to note what can and cannot be collected as an offsite levy under the MGA. The MGA allows offsite levies to fund water, wastewater, stormwater, roads, and community recreation facilities, only the portion of these that are attributable directly to growth. For example, the resiliency water main is entirely growth driven, and therefore 100% of that would have to be, or is leviable essentially. Whereas something like the wastewater treatment plant, or the wastewater treatment plant upgrades, facilities, anything of that nature, because it does benefit both existing infrastructure as well as new infrastructure, the cost can essentially be shared under that. So the result of the analysis and the report in front of you today set a maximum supportable levy rates of $4,286.36 per residential unit and $5.35 per square foot of non-residential development. These figures represent more of an upper limit based on technical costing. They do not set today's rates. Today's rates are set under the 2015 bylaw. The next council will have the discretion when we do bring the new bylaw in front of you. They will have the discretion to either adopt, reduce, or phase in rates as the new bylaw comes forward after the election. So just to reiterate, today's recommendation is simply for council to adopt this report as a technical engineering document. Doing so ensures that administration can prepare a new offsite levies bylaw for the next council, positioning Jasper to realign levy rates with actual gross growth costs and reduce the burden on existing taxpayers, as well as protecting the municipality's long-term financial sustainability. So in closing, administration is recommending that council adopt the Jasper offsite levy update as presented. And then at this point, I'd be happy to take any questions.
I don't know if anybody caught on the last discussion when Councillor Melnick said that it would tie into this one. I did a little thing that no one caught it. Councillor Hall would like to speak to this. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demota, and thank you, Mr. Pollock. I apologize about asking this question last week. We were discussing it a little further, but what would a phased-in approach look like?
Yeah, through you, Deputy Mayor Demota, to you, Councillor Hall. A phased-in approach could essentially mean that council would have the discretion to figure out when the rates would come in. So essentially, if you do decide to adopt the bylaw, there is a metric in place for you as council to choose when those rates may come into effect. So for example, depending on when the actual bylaw is adopted, you may say, well, we'll continue to use the 2015 rates, but we'll choose the 2025 rates to come in at a different time. So for example, it'll be like the end of the fiscal year or just the end of the year in general.
Thank you for that. I did have a bit of conversation about this over the last week with residents and like given the high cost of rebuilding and the municipality really encouraging residents to add more, like to add ADUs. I think that my concern is might be a barrier for some people. But adopting this update isn't adopting a bylaw, correct? We're just, yeah. And so up until this point, anybody that's being charged offset levies is going with the old rate. This is okay. Thank you for that. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Any questions? All right. Thank you very much. If there are no other questions or other inquiries, which I guess are the same thing, and any comments before I move on? Does anyone want to make a motion to this? Councilor Wilson.
Yeah, I would make a motion that council adopt the offsite levy update as presented.
Any debate? Discussion, questions? Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Demoda. I will support the motion, considering that this will be ahead of the next council after election and considering we could look at something phased in, there could be a few more conversation on this, so but I do support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Hall. Councilor Miller.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demoda, and I appreciate the comments about the opportunity to phase in the offsite levies. It may be over a 1-year period, 2-year period. It'll be up to the new council, but it will provide the opportunity to fund what we need to maintain our infrastructure. And I think it'll be up to the new council to recognize that the rebuilding is going to be challenging for the community, and that we need to proceed with the offsite levies in a way that recognizes we need to have the money to maintain our infrastructure, but also to assist people in the densification and rebuilding in the community. Thank you.
Any further comments? Councilor Wilson, would you like to close? Okay. Does everyone understand the motion? All in favor? None opposed, that's carried. Thank you very much. I think we have a little time to review the discussion on the rebuild bylaw. We're at the third reading. Mr. Gibbon, would you like to speak to that? Please and thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So just say that the bylaw has come back from Parks Canada after receiving their certification that doesn't intrude on federal jurisdiction. The intent of the rebuild bylaw, as a reminder for council, is to amend a number of other bylaws to facilitate reconstruction of the town site. These include amendments to the traffic safety bylaw, the noise bylaw, and I believe the commercial use of public space bylaw. And so the intention is to and the business license bylaw. And so the intention is to facilitate reconstruction efforts by providing reduced barriers and essentially the elimination of some red tape for contractors and their subcontractors. But also to ensure that we clarify how contractors can use public lands as they're going about the town site rebuilding homes. So received a full review at a previous council meeting and has since that time received Parks Canada certification, and so is now ready and available for third reading. Council's passage of third reading will enable administration to move forward with these amended regulations as we support the coming years of construction.
Thank you very much. Do any councillors have any questions or comments to make on the third reading or the bylaw sub?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demoda. My question, and it's just the very end of this journey around with this bylaw, once the rebuild is done, will we, I mean, this could be 10 years, it'll be probably another new council or even another new council. Will this be taken, what will happen to this bylaw when the rebuild is finished?
Thanks very much, Councillor Hall, through Deputy Mayor Demoda. So that was a bit of a discussion at an earlier stage. We haven't included an automatic sunset clause, so to speak, that, you know, that these provisions should expire at a certain date. I believe the answer that I gave to that question previously was that council and administration would assess the conditions on the ground. We're really focused in on how we can manage the peak reconstruction period where we imagine that we'll have a variety of different contractors all working in town at the same time. And that's the period where, you know, these sort of special provisions would be needed the most. I think it's a lot like a bell curve where, you know, we've got a few folks and a few contractors that have started. We expect over the next couple of years for that to ramp up, sort of a peak, and then to slowly taper off. And there will be some folks that, you know, will start their reconstruction much later. There's probably some appropriate point, you know, as that starts to trail off, for us to go back to a normal operating process, or at least to reassess these provisions. But again, administration didn't want to make any presumptions about what date that might be. They're here, and we can assess the situation as the years progress.
All right. Thank you very much. Council? We have the recommendation before us from committee of the whole. Does anybody want to move it? Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Waxer?
Yes, I think this bylaw is very important for us moving forward and making it possible for things to progress. So I'm happy to make the motion that council give third reading to bylaw number 272, the rebuild bylaw 2025 as presented.
Right, any questions or further clarification needed? Would you like to close? Nope. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Moving along swiftly, I'd like to bring us to agenda item 7. Does anybody have any notice of motion going forward to the next council meeting or council meetings? Councillor reports. Does anybody have anything to report on past or upcoming meetings? Councillor Malik?
I would report on behalf of the HR committee that we did meet, last week. In matters, pertaining to, what will be discussed in camera. I also would like to note that in next week, on the 8th, will be the, Jasper Recovery Advisory Committee meeting at 3:15. And councillors Hall and usually councillor Waxer attend those meetings, councillor Hall being chair. And that is what I have for upcoming events, or for council reports, pardon me.
Councillor Hall? Councillor Waxer?
Yes, I was reading in the emails and realizing that our community conversations start again tomorrow and next week. So that's an important way to glean information about what is going on in the community and what residents are experiencing. So I am assigned to one of those and will be attending that one as well, along with the others.
Right. Thank you very much, Councillor Waxer. Councillor Wilson? You good? All right. Normally, when I'm chairing, I just say we have the upcoming events in front of us. But for the sake of those that are not following it but watching online, last meeting of the current council is Tuesday, September 16th. It's been a real pleasure working with you guys so far. Nomination day is Monday, September 22nd. And then there's the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation on Tuesday, September 30th. Followed by a week later, we have the all Canadian candidates form. It has to be Canadian. Tuesday, October 7th, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Mr. Hubert, do we have a location for that yet? No? Okay. All right. And then the advance vote for municipal elections is Wednesday, October 15th. And then we have the municipal election day on Monday, October 20th. Does anybody have anything else to add to upcoming events? Councillor Hall.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Demota. Just want to remind everyone that the folk festival is this weekend, starting Friday the 5th into Saturday the 6th.
Thank you very much. Any other things that need to be added? Councillor Malik?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demota, just for everyone to know. I believe the all candidate forum is scheduled to be at the activity center starting at 6 o'clock as noted.
All right. If you run and be there early. Don't run late. All right. Having said that, that moves us to agenda item number 10. We're going in camera. And if no one believes that we were going to be moving anything outside of that, the rest of you don't have to chime in because we won't be coming back online. So this will be the last item that we'll be viewing, and the adjournment time will be posted with the following minutes. So did you want to?
No, I believe that that's true, that we will not have something to bring back.
All right, may I have a motion to move in camera then at, what do I have here, at 2:32 p.m. Oh, Councillor Hall, okay, all in favor? We'll take a brief recess and then get back in both times. Thank you.